welcome to East Coast Reviews. Tonight we got a bourbon examination with the panel. It should be fun. So we got two products that are extremely readily available that we're going to be doing a head-to-head comparison on. I'd like to thank the panel that's here with me today. Dan from FLX Beer Reviews. Cheers, Dan.
Hey, gang.
Bumpy from Bumpy Road Brews. Cheers, Bumpy.
Cheers.
All right. So yeah, this should be interesting. So some key pointers I want to point out is that so we're pretty much reviewing two products from the same distillery. The big difference, one is higher in proof, whereas one is aged longer. So I think that this would be a fun comparison. I do have a little bit of some statistics before we dive in. So this is taken off the breakandbourbon.com website. For the Wild Turkey 101, it's 101 proof. The age is a NAS, but it is believed to be a blend of 6 to 8-year-old bourbons. Mash bill 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley, and the MSRP of the Wild Turkey 101 is $25. I believe I paid $27 for mine.
I paid 40 for mine.
For like a handle, though, right?
But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know that they made handles. I would probably buy a handle, to be honest with you.
New Hampshire.
Mine was
I
20.
think they sell stuff that that if you go to a bar, the bars usually have the big bottles. I think in New Hampshire they sell them at the liquor stores.
Nice. Yeah, because you guys are state run, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So the Russell's Reserve is also from Wild Turkey. This one is 90 proof. So it's clocking in at 45% alcohol by volume. Same mash bill. Believe it or not, just recently found out that they all have the same mash bill. Most of Wild Turkey products is the same mash bill. There might be, well, of course, the ryes are different, but I believe most of their bourbons are the same. Could be wrong. If anybody in the chat or the, whoever's watching the playback, if you want to correct me, that's all right. But I do believe that for the most part, their bourbons do share the same mash bill, 75% corn, 30% rye, 12% malted barley. This one, MSRP, this website says $38, but I do see $40 everywhere. I believe $40 is the more accurate price for $7.50 of this one.
I got it for $37.
There you go. See, yeah, you got it for even better deal. What'd you pay for yours, Dan?
I want to say 43.
That's not bad. That's still not bad at all. All right. I guess we can start pouring them up. If you guys, so my left, I'm going to pour the 101. On my right, I'm going to pour the Russell's Reserve. I mean, however you guys want to do it is fine with me. I just don't want to get confused. I don't have any.
On your left, you're doing Turkey, and your right, you're doing Russell's.
Yes.
I'll do that.
I'll probably do the same. That way, if I forget,
yeah,
I can just reference to you.
You know what I'm doing? I am pouring. I'm going to put the bottle on each side of the desk.
That you poured it on? Yeah, that makes
sense. So this will be my first beverage of the evening. So
my third or fourth.
I think that might change my aspect a little bit.
I actually did a review before this and drank a beer. So.
Okay. So yeah, I'll be hot off the.
Maybe I shouldn't have poured myself like 2 shots worth, right?
Yeah, let's pull them up. They look almost identical. It seems like the proof kind of makes up for the age with the other one as far as color. Do you know what I'm saying? One is higher proof, which would make it have a darker color. Than
I do see a little bit more alcohol legs.
On which one?
Oddly enough, the Russells.
These are 2 identical glasses that I have. I rinsed them. I took them both out of the dishwasher. and then rinse them thoroughly under hot water together. Freshly, haven't had anything in them tonight.
Mine look almost identical.
My legs look identical. Actually, the turkey
slightly darker.
The turkey is leaving what seems to be a stickier alcohol leg.
I think I'm with Dan on mine. I'm getting a little bit more of a viscosity from the Russells.
Yeah.
The turkey for me is holding more. I get a different. Okay, so I got like waves. I got these like weird, like if you blew bubbles, if you blow a bubble and you see all the like chemical like waves.
Yeah.
I'm getting that on the wild turkey. The Russells is running down like with fingers down through the.
Yeah, I kind of can understand what you're saying. Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying. So if you bring them both up, I see how they're kind of
like I think the turkey to me seems to be sticking to the glass more.
Right.
Where the Russells is like a thick coat of paint that somebody that just slaps paint on the wall and then just drips down.
Cheers. I think they look very identical. Like if I were to mix them up, if I were to like look away and just kind of do this.
Yeah. As far as like colors and stuff like that. Yeah,
I can't tell which one is which.
They're the same SRM to me.
Yeah. Let's you guys want to go for the nose?
Sure. What do you want?
Let's you want a nose? Should we do proof before age or age before proof?
Age before proof.
Or do you think we should do the cheaper bottle first?
I would say do the wild turkey first.
Yeah, because it's a
younger.
All right, wild turkey.
Younger, cheaper. Yeah. We'll go wild turkey first.
Bon appetit to my nostrils.
Oh my god, dude, bacon spices. Cinnamon, like bakery, like just like a cinnamon roll, maybe?
There's a burn. This actually burns my nostrils.
Yeah, there's a little bit of ethanol.
Now, I did trim my nose hairs this weekend.
I think like cinnamon roll, like
I get a little bit of pine too.
Pine, there's a little bit of like a floral. I get a lot of cinnamon, bakery, cherry.
Yeah, I can get this. I can get the cinnamon.
It definitely changes, like when I give it the old bumpy smell from like 50 feet away. Versus, you know what I mean? Like
in there.
Yeah, there's a bit of that Cinnabon type note.
So there is a whiskey reviewer that says to for every whiskey you have, to let it sit for as many minutes as it has aged. So if you have like a 60-year bourbon, they say to let it sit for 8 minutes before you taste it.
My favorite thing to do is after you drink your glasses of whiskey, don't rinse the glass for the night. Just set it by the sink.
Yeah.
Sniff it the next morning. You get so many notes because there's so much alcohol percentage that like I'm getting the burn on the nostrils, so it's hard to pick out stuff. But I'll get toffees and chocolates and stuff that I wasn't able to pick up that are present. Like,
you know what I sort of get off this is
I get cherry.
I've had them like I almost get like a maple glazed walnut, like with the sugar crystals.
Yeah, almost like baklava.
Like,
you know what there is in this too?
Like a little bit of honey and stuff like that too.
There's a little bit of citrus. There's a nice citrus sweetness, citrus candied like aroma. A little bit of nuttiness. Kind of like what you were saying, Dan.
Yeah, I think walnut's inaccurate for the nut type.
I'm gonna nose the Russells.
Okay.
You guys want to go for the Russells nose?
Oh wow, that's right off the rip. That's like it's familiar, but way different. Like
the ethanol alcohol is
tamed,
very tamed.
Doesn't burn the nostrils at all.
You get that caramel.
I get kind of like a vanilla. No
caramel, vanilla. The oak is very prominent, very woody.
I get toffee. I actually get toffee over caramel.
See, on this one, I get more of
kind of like a score bar.
Like a pecan pie filling.
To be honest with
pecan, like another nut, but it's pecan instead of
like
walnut.
the filling itself, you know.
Guys, to be honest with you, this is much more tamed and relaxing on the nose.
Yeah, this is like warmth that you want to come in, like if it's a cold night out, like it's snowing out, coming on in by the fireplace, and this is that nice warmth. It's inviting. This other one, the Wild Turkey, is like your house is on fire and you're standing outside like, oh no.
I kind of enjoy the intensity of the spices on this one. This one seems very like subdued and kind of
almost berry out of this too.
Lackluster.
Now,
there's like a little bit of a blackberry out of the Russells.
Me being the kind of new guy when it comes to bourbon, when you usually get a scent, you don't bury your nose right in it, do you? Like I can't do it. Like all I get is alcohol burn, no matter what bourbon it is. If I get like too heavy in there,
you have to find the right.
That's why I always I like to start from afar and kind of drift in. You kind of find that, because if you just dive right in, you can burn the Wild Turkey does that. That's why I was getting that burn. I'm just like, I get.
This is super mellow, but I like.
This is more like a cookie. This is like a nice warm like cookie, like a buttery sugary cookie.
Which one?
The Russells. It's got like this kind of buttery like in sugar vanilla type note. Butter vanilla.
Like the sugar cookie before you put the frosting on it for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one do you guys prefer on the nose?
The Russells.
I kind of like the 101. Minus the I'm
getting more
intensity
out of the Russells. The Wild Turkey to me just hits heavy.
The I'm getting more complexity out of the 101. I think the Russells is very subdued, to be honest with you.
I'm opposite. I'm able to, maybe it's just because my nostrils are burning when I smell the 101. Like when I'm getting pine type notes out of a whiskey,
I think it's
a bit much. It's almost like sniffing a gin. You know what I mean? Where you just get that.
It's that cinnamon roll. It's that baking spice that I get out of the 101 that I'm kind of searching for in the Russell.
Yeah, I'm more of a sugar cookie lover than a cinnamon roll lover.
I mean, it's fair.
And that's what the Russells reminds me of, like a buttery sugar cookie.
Would you say that this one's kind of like cinnamon roll, the 101?
Yeah. Like a Cinnabon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It does, because it does have that kind of pastry, bready, dough smell to it too.
Bakery dough, yeah. You guys want to try the 101 first?
Yeah, let's just cuvee them instead.
No. All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers. Definitely getting the
heat.
The oak.
Really? I get a lot of spice again. I get a lot of vanilla, spice, and citrus.
On that last nose on the Wild Turkey, I got that oaky presence, and that translated. Yeah. Okay, I got another. You guys have been drinking. I haven't, so I'm getting that for initial.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. My palate's kind of tamed. I have had both of these tonight already. But I wasn't like sitting there contemplating what I'm tasting. I was just like, ah!
You guys have a water bottle?
No, I'm thinking about rinsing it down with some beer.
Do whatever you like. This is it's almost buttery, and I get a lot of
Oktoberfest. You know what else I noticed? I was eating the other night. Surprise, surprise. And when I was drinking some whiskey, so I had a glass of whiskey and I was drinking that, and then I had something to eat, and then I had more whiskey after eating or during eating, and I noticed different notes. It was like I was picking up on different notes I couldn't taste before. So that's very interesting. So I think that whiskey can pair with food and stuff too. So we should start up a whiskey and cheese night.
That'd be fun.
Because they do have some whiskey, some cheeses that are made with whiskey and stuff too. So.
Yeah.
Me and Mike the other day when we were just having some whiskey, we broke open some cheese, had some Fontina, had some sharp cheddar, another one. But anyway.
Right.
I'm almost getting a little cherry.
I get cherry. I get cherry and citrus in cinnamon, vanilla, oak, in raisin. Do you guys get raisin? Raisin keeps coming. I keep going back to raisin. I get a
Maybe
lot
like
of
a golden
raisin.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's good though. It's got like that proof. It's kind of punchy, but it's also drinkable at the same time. I think this is totally going to go down to whether or not you like more of a punchy bourbon versus a more laid back.
I can tell you this.
The Russells.
I think the Russell's a little bit more.
The wild turkey is definitely not one that you want to have go the wrong way and go up your nasal passage. I've had that happen before, and it hurts. And you can just tell, like, there's a burn. There's a burn sensation with the 101.
Yeah.
You know, like, you got to sip this. I don't think that this is not like I'm going to do a shot because it will burn on the way down. I think shot whiskeys are more smooth, mellow.
Now we're gonna have to do like a drink through sometime.
Get a little bit of like a toasted marshmallow type note out of this too.
Which regular 101?
Yeah.
See that? You get a little bit of that char.
Yeah.
Some of that char on the back end. Very noticeable. I think when we get into the Russells, you're going to get a little bit more of the oak rather than the char. I think maybe with age, the char starts to dial back.
Less burn. So I think that I personally, when stuff's like not as heaty, I think that my palate enjoys it more. I'm able to search for more things because I kind of get stuck if there's something that's just overpowering. But sometimes I find it hard to get past that to search for other flavors I might be noticing because I keep just kind of back to there's that burn and whatnot. So
yeah, I think this one's going to be a little. I think though, I think it's going to come down to the 101 being a little bit more of a punchier, harsher, whereas the Russells is going to be a little bit more tannic and astringent.
Yeah, if you want it, because there's a difference in proof too. So you're looking at 6%. One's 45% alcohol, one is 50.5% alcohol.
5.5, yeah. 5.5% ABV difference. You guys want to try the Russells now?
Sure.
Yeah, first I'm going to take a swig of my Hacker Shore just to rinse my mouth out.
You ready to move on? You guys ready to move on? Are we moving on?
Moving on.
Okay, sorry. Cheers.
Cheers.
Way less burn. Wow.
It's very tamed. Yeah, I think I prefer the nose on the 101 and the palate on the Russells.
I get a little bit of clay out of the Russells, and then it goes into a maraschino cherry.
Mm.
So it's got the sweet cherry.
Yeah, it's like cherry syrup.
Yeah.
Cherry syrup cola, cherry cola maybe. Cherry cola.
Yeah, which is nice. So I've had that where people were saying cherry cola and stuff. What was the one that I was like, no, this is like straight Robitussin?
Oh, Eagle Rare.
The Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cherry cola. A little bit of lingering spice, just a little touch of spice on the back end. Little floral.
I wish it had more of that nutty like vanilla thing going on, like that I got on the nose. Like it was very sweet pastry esque on the nose, but
yeah, this is kind of like. Do you get like a slight Play-Doh like clay type note out of it?
On the back end, there's
it's probably the astringency, probably the oak. You're probably tasting the astringency from the age in the wood.
See, that's like what Dan's saying. The aromas on this thing, on the Russells, for me, fantastic. Really loving it. The flavors are lacking a bit. They're kind of like off to this side.
It's very subdued.
But it's different. It's not the same. It's not sweet. Like
I would say right now, the 101 has more complexity than this.
That's what I was saying to you. I think the Russells is a little bit more tamed and laid
Although,
back.
If I could, when Mike tried this, so we tried a bunch of whiskeys, right? And Mike loved the Russells, went crazy over it. And as one reason why, he's like, this is one of the smoothest whiskeys I've had.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, there's no effort into.
Gentleman Jack is really smooth.
I think so. Here's how I would put it, right? I think the 101 is like an awesome representation. Like, you want to know what bourbon tastes like? This is bourbon. It's not going to break the bank. $27. You get some decent complexity. You get those standard flavor notes. And then the Russells is like, okay, this is what a bourbon tastes like when you age it for a little bit longer. You kind of dial it back on the proof. You're not going to get that super intense aspect to it, but you're going to get a very drinkable, easy going bourbon. What were you going to say, Bob? Yeah, what were you going to say?
I think this is something that we should keep going. This is like their first installment doing something like this, and we're all like, well, Dan and I mostly are newer to the bourbon whiskey world. What about next? Like, try to figure out a time or something. Maybe we can get like do this again with another, like maybe do a couple more with like another distillery that has like a lower cost one, and then they have a higher cost one, like Four Roses. Get like Four Roses basic, and then do like Four Roses like single barrel or something, and compare those two, and then like winter kind of thing, and then we'll have like the circuit thing. So you have like if Wild Turkey 101 wins, and then the Four Roses single barrel wins, have those two compete just to kind of see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Definitely. Cheers, Ryan. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't know if it's changed for you guys, but it's been just sitting here, letting oxygen hit it. I've been kind of swirling it. Go back to the Wild Turkey nose now that you've had the Russells. For me, it got a little sweeter, less burn.
Dude, you know it's maple.
It is less burn. You're right, Dan. That's messed up.
Maple.
Yeah, like a lot of maple.
I'm still getting toffee. I'm getting like toffee out of it.
And it's funny because the first nose on the Russells, I was like, oh, there's that maple covered walnut with like the sugar on it.
It's more maple now, yeah.
Lots of maple.
Oh,
you guys ever do maple?
Dude, I think I just went blind.
What did you do?
I did the thing that Dan talked about earlier. I stuck my nose in it and took a big fucking whiff of the Russells, the one that's been smooth, and it just burnt my right eyeball. Like I got a shock to my right eyeball. Like I'm seeing flashes. That was like an intense burn. I got like a white light in my right eyeball. That was harsh. That hurt.
Don't do that again.
No.
All right. I'm going to go back to tasting the wild turkey now.
So I've been doing maple bacon.
I'm getting more cherry out of the Russells now.
I've been doing maple bacon with brown sugar on the griddle.
Mm.
So I have totally been able to pick out maple in these bourbons when I notice them. That maple note is so prominent when you go back to it.
Do this, guys. You ready?
Maple syrup.
I have both glasses in hand.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sniff, 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 sniff. Let me know if you see any difference or if you start seeing a lot more similarities.
No, it's the baking spice, man. The Russells is like candies and cherries and like dry.
Doing it back to back, there's a lot more similarities to me.
And the wild turkey's like spice and vanilla. This is like cherry.
And this is still more buttery. The Russell still has more of a buttery effect.
Very cordial.
I would say still the one difference going back like the wild turkey, doing it that way. I get more of this like fresh oak kind of thing.
Yeah, it does smell. Yeah, it smells like a younger wood.
Yeah,
which it is because it's not in there as long. So when we say musky, there's a bit of a muskiness to the Russells.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like a well-worn-in tent, my dad would go out camping, and this is the tent that he would use versus, hey, I just bought this tent at Walmart.
Now,
the Russells has memories to it.
Now, we don't have
the
it
Wild
here.
Turkey 101 creates memories.
So we don't have it here.
So confused.
But I'm wondering what the next step would be. Like if we had a bottle of rare breed.
Rare breed, probably.
Here, with it,
The only other whiskey I have on hand is.
I think that this will have to be.
Crown
These will have to be an ongoing series. So good.
Yeah.
Overall,
we do have to figure out what we like more.
Yeah.
We do.
So let's take a couple minutes. So we're at 28 minutes. Let's take a couple minutes. Let's sip and nose in silence, and then we'll dial it back and we'll discuss one we enjoy over the other one.
I get what you're saying, but the way you said it, you're like, you'll sit in silence. It's fucking hilarious to me.
Well, yeah, I want to take a minute.
I get you.
Let's take a minute to just kind of nose and taste and see which one we really prefer. Okay, have you guys? I'm sorry. Have you guys have you guys had Eagle Rare?
I'm observing the moment of silence.
Me.
I can't answer that.
Okay, I'll go. I'll talk about it after that.
No, Tanner. I have not been able to find a bottle of Eagle Rare.
Tanner, you gave me a pour of Eagle Rare. Appreciate you.
I mean, if you wanted to send me a sample of Eagle Rare,
I have to do an examination on the Russells and the Eagle Rare. Maybe we could discuss something then.
I think I got my winner.
That's strange.
It's
From once my affinity for swirling comes into play.
Oh, it changed things?
Oh, yeah.
I'm swirling both. I'm like, this is hard.
So I did see this interesting thing. It was on SLB bourbon videos, and they said they saw it on like TikTok or something. We had the same glass of bourbon, but for one of them, for 10 seconds, you put a milk frother in it.
What the hell's a milk frother?
It basically aerates. Like they use it in like a cappuccino, like coffee shops. Bottles? Like you put it in this thing, and it's got like this. It looks like a Tesla arc ring or whatever, and it aerates it. It introduces air into it. So basically, you could put it in some milk and it froths it up to like a creamy, soapy texture.
You know what we should do?
I've had like 9 ounces of whiskey tonight. I'm feeling pretty damn buzzed.
Okay. I guess the short way of saying it, it's a mechanical way to swirl and introduce air into the whiskey.
You guys got paper?
Vapors?
Paper.
Yeah, I got paper.
Pen and paper.
Okay. Yeah, I got that.
Okay, hold on. So I want to come up with a quick scoring system for us. Nose, flavor, finish, value, and what else should we take into account?
Well, you can't
Unless it has a cool acronym, I don't want to do it.
How about I just use my handy dandy
Aesthetics.
50-point inspection board? What'd you say, nose?
Nose, flavor, finish, value, and aesthetics. Oh,
I
mouth.
wrote fin for the end because I'm Swedish. I'm really not. Nose, finish, flavor, value. Jesus,
Wait,
nose,
what?
Flavor, finish.
Nose, flavor,
finish, value.
Okay.
value.
Okay, so let's do this right now. Okay, so I just thought of this. Kind of similar to Curiosity Public, they do like an ultimate spirits competition. They have some other categories. So let's do nose at 20 points, flavor at 20 points, finish at 20 points, value and aesthetics at 10 points each, and then mouthfeel at 20 points. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100. And out of 100, we'll see which one we give.
Wait, what's after value? Sorry.
Just do it real
nose,
slowly.
Flavor,
Don't
value.
just rattle it off because I'm buzzed. So if we can.
Okay, I got you. Hold on. All right. So nose,
20 points.
20 points. Flavor is going to be 20 points. Finish, 20 points. Value at 10 points. Aesthetics at 10 points. And mouthfeel at 20 points. So if you want to do a quick rundown.
Aesthetics is 10?
Yes. Value and aesthetics at 10 points each.
And then what's the last one?
Mouthfeel.
What exactly do you mean by aesthetics? You're talking about like the way
bottle,
that, like,
the bottle design.
Oh, come on now. I bought a handle.
No,
it looks like ass.
No. Bottle design.
You can base it off ours.
Information on the label.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know if you meant aesthetics by like how the legs looked and stuff like that.
All of the color and stuff. No, we'll do aesthetics.
Yeah, the color and the legs.
I guess you could add it to it. The actual aesthetics of the
product,
of the dram itself, and the packaging.
Okay.
So if you could add both of those together, I guess would be aesthetics. I never really thought about it like that, but I guess that would be cool.
Yep. Tanner, you ever heard of the Take scale?
No.
It's a thing on the Reddit, on the Bourbon subreddit.
Oh no, I've never really been familiar with that.
My
can talk about it after we go off air.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go over the two, and I'm gonna try to come up with some numbers.
Does nothing work in this house?
Says the maintenance man.
Wait, is this pencil?
Sorry for anyone watching.
This would be the point in the video if this wasn't live, where we would just fast forward.
Yeah.
Dude, this is tough.
I am gonna look up the other scale because I want to reference it.
I'm really trying to be fair.
Because I don't know what the scale of the increments are going to be. Where I think they are. That fucking nose keeps changing. It's so weird.
I feel like I thought that I liked one over the other, but then when I actually thought about it and put it into this category, I feel like I'm kind of thrown off. This is actually a really fun way to do this. I should start doing this for my regular review.
I feel like I need a scale.
Well, it's
Have you
tough
ever
to
watched-
do when it's like your first, like when I first started doing beer reviews, or 50-point inspections. It was really hard because I didn't know where to really put anything until you build a repertoire.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
until
yeah,
you kind of have a base. You
Get
have a
the fuck outta
baseline
here.
where you're kind of
Really?
like, okay,
You're-
most things fall in this category. This one's within this. So things do change over time. That's why
yeah, when you
the
actually
stuff I scored 2 years ago that's totally way out of whack as to what it would be today.
when you try to categorize stuff, you really it helps you come up with a better number rather than being like, oh, this is this because
What was the M again?
mouthfeel.
Have you guys ever watched Good Mythical Morning?
No, but I think I've heard you talk about it before.
Okay. So, anyways, the two hosts, Rhett and Link, so they'll do they'll taste every flavor of something, and they give it a number, and they combine the numbers. And at the end, they pick the top three. So, they do every Mountain Dew flavor or every High Chew flavor or whatever. But Link always struggles with the scores. So for each one, they make him a custom chart with how at the doctor's office, the pain levels and they have the faces, depending on how you're feeling. So I'll make a custom one of those for him. I feel like for each one of these categories, I need a little smiley face or something to tell me where am I at in that slider for that individual.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to try to keep this a little structured. So first we're going to go over the 101.
Okay.
I'm just adding my scores up.
We're gonna reveal our number, and then we're gonna maybe add a little bit of a side note of to why we gave it that score. Does anybody want to start first? You guys want me to go first, or
Have at it.
okay? So we'll start with the 101. On the nose, I gave it a 17. Actually, how about we do this? We'll all reveal what number we gave it, and then if we're the same, we can kind of try to justify why it's better or if it's worse, and then try to hype each panel member up to go higher. Because that's what these guys at Curiosity Public do.
At my work, certain job positions require job interviews, and the panel for the job interview is 3 people, and they all do the scoring system. And after the interview, they get together and look at the individual scores and total it. And if somebody is vastly different, they have to provide the reason why, and then they talk about it and reassess.
Bumpy, where'd you go? All right, we'll wait for Bumpy to go back. So what we're gonna do is, right? So we're all gonna give our number for a certain category, and then we're gonna try to justify it. Or was that you? Bumpy.
I coughed.
Oh, okay. Bumpy, you good? All right. Well, yeah. Nose for the 101, I gave a 17. What did you give it, Dan?
14.
14. Okay.
We gotta wait for Bumpy.
Yeah. You want to justify your 14? You can. If you want.
I want to see what Bumpy gave it first.
Okay. I gave it
because if me and Bumpy are the same, it would be you kind of justifying why you.
I had to take a leak. Sorry.
You're good.
Bumpy, we just gave our wild turkey nose. Tanner gave it a 17. I gave it a 14. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 15.
Okay. Tanner, why are you high?
Oh, wow. So I'm way up there, huh? I don't know. I just really like that cinnamon roll aspect. Baking spice, once it starts to open up, I really wasn't getting a lot of ethanol alcohol. Now, the complexity isn't out of this world, but I do get a good balance of bakery spice / vanilla. It's got a little bit of that citrus note, a little bit of some dried fruits. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I thought for a 101 proof, $28 bourbon, it really had a just kind of an iconic aroma compared to other bourbons in its realm of like $20 to $30 bourbons. So I do feel it kind of stood out. Now, why do you guys think you gave it the lower end of the?
I'm willing to bet I'm on the same as Bumpy. Just that for us, for me, I got that huge ethanol it kind of took away from it.
Okay.
Now, going back to it, the nose improved, but for the majority of the nose, the ethanol took away.
Yeah. I also have much like Dan. I may have had more bourbons and whiskeys at this point than Dan, but I'm still kind of new to this, so I don't have a big reference as far as like where to land things. So I started thinking about the future too, because I know that I've definitely had bourbons and whiskeys and stuff that I've enjoyed much more. Now, maybe they're at a greater price range, but I just know that there's been some that I've been like absolutely in love with that these didn't quite register to that level. So I try to pick out a fair level. So I think starting at 15 out of 20 is kind of an okay level. It gives me time to or a little bit of room to fluctuate. It definitely wasn't the worst. Either one of these were not the worst. Far from the worst aromas.
But think about bourbons in this $20 to $30 price range. I just feel like it stands out and it does have like a uniqueness overall. That's kind of why I gave that higher score.
Yeah.
I've
had bourbons that I paid more money for that were much worse in the aromas.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing though. I can't say that I've had enough bourbons in that price range that are over 100 proof.
Yeah.
To be
so does anybody want to go down? No.
I'm happy where I'm at.
All right. We'll move on to flavor then. Flavor, I gave a 16. What'd you give it, Dan?
17.
What about you, Bobby?
I gave it a 15.
15. Dan, you gave
Damn, why was it so high?
Yeah.
I mean, the flavors, minus the ethanol part, like the flavors to me is
it's good.
really nice.
I really enjoy the flavor. I just wish there was a little bit more complexity. It has a little bit of that citrus note. I kind of wish the spice was a little bit more tamed. I kind of wish the spice, that bakery aspect was a little bit more laid back, and you picked up on a little bit more sweetness. Seems a little bit more on the spicy side rather than the sweet side.
I'm okay with it. I like it.
What do you think, Bumpy? You give it the lowest score.
I give the lowest score, but in reference, I mean, we're not going like you're not having me read off what I put down for the Russells, so I can't really reference as to exactly why I gave it a 15.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I mean? Except that the nose, I can tell you this: if we didn't go back and do the nose thing again, and I wasn't doing that comparison, like the first aromas I was getting off the 101 burnt so much, and I enjoyed the smoothness, and I got more out of the aromas from the Russells to begin with. But then going back after drinking the Russells and then drinking the 101, I did notice more aromas. It seemed to soften up. It wasn't as burny on my nose. And then doing the back-to-back thing, that actually raised up the aromatic score for me for the 101. So a 15 out of 20 for me on the Wild Turkey is actually pretty good. I guess I can just tell you I did like the Wild Turkey's flavor more than the Russells. I'll just say that.
That's fair. So do either of you guys want to go up or go down on your scores? No. All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to finish. So out of 20 points, I gave the finish a 16. I did like it. I like the bakery spice. This is just like baking spice. I can't not mention the baking spices in this. It's up front. It's on the initial palate. It's in mid palate. It lingers. The only thing I would have gave this a higher score for the finish, but it does have a little bit of that ethanol boozy aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it does kind of take away from the drinkability. Because, of course, with finish, you have to take drinkability into consideration because, if you're sitting here and you get a big boozy burn, you're not going to want to take another sip right away. But I do feel like it did have a decent finish. Like I said, I'm going to go back to that price range. You could have some $25 to $30 bourbons that aren't nearly as drinkable as this. Dan, Bumpy, what did you guys give for your finish?
A 15.
15?
I gave it the same.
Nice.
So I think we're all pretty much on par with that.
Where you guys clean?
I gave it a 15 because of the burn.
So you guys cheers each other.
Cheers. Cheers with the Wild Turkey 101. Yeah. To me, it was just kind of the burn feel. I enjoy a much smoother kind of where I can, like I said, like same thing with smelling something. If it's too hot, it just kind of if I'm feeling actual physical pain, almost from something, it distracts me from being able to pick out certain things. So the finish gave me that kind of like burning feeling, like it was melting my taste buds a bit. It was almost like hot burn. If you're a beer drinker, a craft beer drinker, more often than an adjunct lager drinker, because you're not going to get hot burn from that. It's not going to happen. But the hot burn can kind of like take away in a beer sometimes, even though it's like super fresh. And it's like, oh, some people really look for that. The burn of that alcohol, that high alcohol, kind of just distracts from the finish for me, because I want to have more of a mellow, just lingering flavors of kindness and deliciousness versus
I'm gonna try some.
holy Holy alcohol!
Holy alcohol. This is
But this one's. But I did score it at the 15 because this one's not. Once again, not the worst burn I've ever had. It still has some decent flavors, and it's not doing this to me. Most important thing. Most important thing. The reason why I stayed away from a lot of hard liquors for a long time was this. Every time I drink, it just be like, it was just too much. A lot of people like the same thing with IPAs and stuff. People try IPAs. I can't stand IPAs. I don't like hoppy beers, But sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. And that was something I didn't understand for the longest time. So I didn't think I'd ever get over it. But people are like, oh, no, just keep, the people that are into whiskeys and stuff like that. Oh, no, just keep going. You'll get through it. It's like, there's no way I'm going to get through this alcohol burn. It happens. And then I can start noticing flavors.
Yeah,
it's so weird. You got to train your palate.
You got to find the right ones.
Yeah. And train your palate, I think.
Well, we do have we got a lot more to go through.
Yeah.
Before I move on to the next category, are you guys enjoying this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we can do a lot to streamline it, but yeah.
I wish I never met you.
Do without the stream?
No, we can do a lot to streamline it.
Oh, like keep Bumpy out so I don't keep talking. I get you.
No, that's not what I mean.
I think when we first initially do it, we should do the actual scoring. Like we started off with us talking about like we did a review, and now we're doing scoring. I feel like we should have just went right into scoring. You know what I'm saying?
And then talked about the stuff.
And then talked about it next time, so we don't have like different perceptions or.
Well, we're also kind of coming up with ideas like we're doing now and talking about.
Yeah. Oh, this is I'm actually really enjoying this. I think this is awesome.
No,
but you've only been going for 52 minutes, so I mean, Alex has live streams that are like 2 hours long when they could have been 30 minutes.
I mean, we still got the Russells to go. I mean, we could soak up an hour.
Yeah, I know we still got a whole other bourbon talking about value. I'm gonna let you guys go first on value.
Out of 10, right?
Out of 10.
I'll go first. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
What about you, Dan?
10.
I gave it a 10. Cheers, Dan.
Cheers. Oh wait.
I went low because I think that I have found some better value.
Really?
Yeah. I think as I'm buying bourbons and getting into it, I think I'm starting to see where the values are, at least for my personal preferences so far. So.
I'm
because I can get Four Roses for cheaper, and I actually prefer Four Roses.
I don't know. I think this is about as good as value gets. I have to give it that 10. I'm sorry.
And see, that's another thing.
I was
one proof for $20.
I was thinking about going to 9 because they don't actually state the age statement, but it's well known that this is a 68. It's like kind of undisclosed, but rumored to be 68. 68, 101 proof bourbon for $27. You really can't go wrong. I mean, $25 to $30 spirits in general.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy a lot of crap. This is something that's good for sipping. You could do shots if you really wanted. It would stand out in a cocktail. That's why I'm throwing value into the mix. Right. Because even if you're not a big bourbon drinker, like a big bourbon sipper, you can buy this and make Manhattans, old fashions. You're not going to break the bank. It's going to stand out in a cocktail. What do you mean?
I make my old fashions with rye whiskey.
Rye, true. But I'm saying you could do. This is cheap enough. In, it's solid in flavor to the point where if you added it to a cocktail, you wouldn't feel bad about it.
right now.
Also something that you could pull out, pour a glass, and sip on that and be like, wow, that's some good
Yeah,
bourbon.
this could be almost like a Jack and Coke. Yeah.
Yeah, you could totally throw this with some Coca-Cola.
That's what I use it for a lot.
Yeah, dude.
I have Coke Zero minis in the fridge.
That's the thing, and it's affordable enough to not make you feel like, oh, I shouldn't be mixing this. You know,
It actually might be better with Coke than Jack because Jack's a little bit sweeter, in my memory.
Jack is a little bit more tamed. I
think it's got a sweetness to it.
Jack
with Coke with soda is sweet already.
Jack Daniel's is a Tennessee whiskey, so it's filtered through sugar maple charcoal, which gives it a more subdued flavor profile, but it also takes away from the intensity and the complexity of the actual product.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying with the 101 is it's right around the same price. Jack is going to cost you around like $25, $26. This is right around the same price. If you're a fan of your cocktails to actually have that spirit shine through, that bourbon is going to shine through over that cola or whatever it is, you know, it's not going to be hidden by sweetness. It's going to have that intensity to kind of stand out. But yeah, I gave value 10 out of 10. I think this is probably like one of the most inexpensive / extremely what is that? What's the word? Diverse. It's very diverse to where you could use it for many different occasions. You guys got anything to add to value?
No.
I have a bottle I bought for around the same price of something, but I've yet to open it. So it'll be interesting because it could change my take.
This is my second bottle of this. I recently bought a bottle of this maybe like a month ago. I bought another one. What were you going to say, Robbie?
I was going to say, I think that next time we should probably do like one and then the other on the same subject. And then you can just talk about why you think one's better than the other.
One's better than the other one.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, yeah. Well, we only got mouthfeel left. So
no, we have the
aesthetics.
Aesthetics.
Oh, aesthetics, I'm sorry. Aesthetics, then mouthfeel. So aesthetics, I gave it 7. What'd you guys give it?
9.
This is out of 10.
Yeah.
I did not do the aesthetics on my own bottle because it looks like crap. Although the turkey on the front is kind of cool. I did look at your guys' bottles. I gave it a 7.
That's what I gave it. Yeah.
Why so high, Dan?
Because I like the turkey.
What did you give it, Dan?
A 9.
Oh wow, that's high.
I like the turkey on the bottom, the raised turkey. I mean, it's.
But there's no. I do like the bottle. I like the style. It's very unique. You walk into a store, you see it on the shelf, you say that's all turkey. It's very, you know, you're gonna see it overall.
If Dan had a turkey my size, he would have given it a 20.
It's gonna stand out. But as far as
look, mine has a screw cap. This is bullshit.
As far as information, though, they don't give any. There's not a lot of information on it. That's the only thing that I kind of lacked it on.
For me, this could be really far on a shelf, and I can look and just like that's wild turkey.
Yeah, but I wish they kind of. So maybe it's not aesthetics. I don't know. I'm gonna add it into aesthetics now. No age statement.
I mean, a majority of people do that though.
There's not much information on it.
I've noticed that, like, there's like a majority of like bourbons I've gotten where they don't necessarily say the age.
Well,
Yeah.
I look at it this way. Right? You walk into a liquor store, you have no clue about any of these products.
Yep.
You look at it, there's really not much to tell you. It's like you're kind of taking a gamble.
Yeah, but you could say that about a lot of other bourbons.
We are terrible at like trying to convince the other person to go down or go up.
No,
That's what we need to work
Yeah.
on.
beyond
I'm
anything that
happy.
says barrel proof, I could go up in my cupboard and 4 out of the 5 bourbons for me don't say aged X amount of
No.
years.
I'm happy at mine.
All right, so mouthfeel, we're gonna give it 20 points value. I gave it a 14. I did like it. It does have a good intense mouthfeel, but there is a little bit of burn. Kind of goes back to that drinkability range. So, maybe down the line we'll have to put drinkability into its own category. But yeah, there was a lot of spice. I do feel like the spice kind of overpowers the palate, but I do like the spice aspect to it. I love the flavor from it.
Mm.
It's drinking like 101. It actually has a little bit more flavor than a 101. But with the finish, it kind of dies off kind of fast. And then in that aspect, kind of works against the mouthfeel. I gave it a 14 for mouthfeel.
Okay.
Kind of all over the place.
I gave it a 16. I have nothing to add.
Nothing to add.
Not really. I mean, it's. I think it's appropriate for the proof. I wish it just had a touch more viscosity. A little bit more oily feel, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like with the proof, you get the flavor of the proof, but you don't necessarily get the viscosity and the mouthfeel of the 101. Like the richness.
What's up, I traveled down 101, Route 101, that is, for work and back from work. So I see 101 quite a bit. And most of the time when I'm traveling back from work, I'm saying I can't wait till I get home so I can have some drinks. Sometimes starting with a beer, sometimes starting with a whiskey, but there's usually both involved at this point. I get kind of a black pepper burn. There's a burniness to it. Maybe the higher alcohol, maybe the less aging of it. But there's definitely a burn. It's not the worst burn that I've had, but the burn does bring down what I think for the mouthfeel totally. It also it has kind of like a sharpness, almost like thumbtacks pricking my tongue, and things like that. So I'm at a 15. I'm right in the middle of you guys. So 15 out of 20.
So what was everybody's score on the 101? You tally.
My total?
80. Yeah, mine was 80.
Mine's 81.
I'm at a 76.
Okay. Fair. We're right around the same range.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking for this last part, I do agree with Bumpy. Maybe we should have a different style of setup when we do this next time. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull us up full screen, and you can kind of just go over.
Just run right down through.
Yeah, go right.
Do you want to name the total too?
Throw out your number. Throw up your total.
Okay. And then we can just quick talk about it afterwards.
Have your explanation, and then we'll discuss it afterwards. This is really fun, but of course, it seems like there's going to be definitely some tweaking as far as how we run the show.
Oh, for sure.
When we do it like this, I'm having a lot of fun though. This is awesome. So
How
we're
can you
going
not have fun getting drunk with friends? It's great.
So we're going to go with the Russell's 10.
What?
Dan, do you want to? What's up?
Are we conveying these?
I think we should do it at the end. We'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end.
All right. So I have about equals. So I will.
Hold on,
my beer.
Dan. I'm gonna pull you up.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the bathroom quick, but yeah, just go over your go over your thing. If you have additional notes on your number, throw out your last number, and then we'll have a little bit of.
How about we do this? Could we take a quick, just 2-minute intermission so I can go grab I have no beverages whatsoever besides the whiskey. I don't have water or anything.
Yeah.
And then you go to the bathroom because I don't want anyone to miss our scores.
Okay.
This won't be a thing, but we're figuring this out. We're an hour into it. I'm
going to grab some guacamole and chips. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. Intermission.
We need intermit like music, like just intermittently through it.
Oh, what do you want? One of these? Right. Taking a little bit of a break here. So, so when Dan comes back, we will go through our scores, compare our scores, and see which one actually wins overall. As far as the panel. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's definitely different. It's a lot easier to just say like, "Oh, I give this this score," but when you actually like write it down and you think about it and you try to nitpick each aspect of the spirit,
that's what makes the 50-point inspection work. See?
No, that's what I was saying at the beginning of this. Beginning of this stream, I was saying how the 50-point inspection is much more accurate than your like typical run of the mill or even like my beer review. Because rather than just basing typical knowledge and all that, and just throwing a number and how you feel in that moment, you're actually like nitpicking and saying, well, this nose and this finish and this flavor and blah, blah, blah adds up to this. I do like this aspect of how we're running things right now. I think this would be a lot of fun. I'm pouring up a Trillium beer, Dan.
Oh, nice.
This is Pier Pale Ale.
Nice.
6.7% alcohol by volume. Trillium. Package 728.23. Nice.
I'm in. If you can't beat them, join them.
What's that? Jack
right now?
Jack's Abbey? Nice, dude. Oh, yeah.
Oktoberfest. I refuse to buy a pumpkin beer though, but I'll buy an Oktoberfest.
Oh, they're coming out with Oktoberfest again?
Oh, Oktoberfest and pumpkin beers, they're all over. You can't stop it. Oktoberfest, fine. I see it because Oktoberfest is actually in September, so I get it.
Yeah. I'm excited.
No. Anyways.
I'm eating Walmart brand guacamole and Tostitos, but
Nice.
I have Hacker Shore, Oktoberfest, Munich
I think this is more like a fest beer.
Marzen.
Um,
Dan, I didn't even realize we had like our things are like about other people.
Hmm.
Yours is beer. Mike says, "Thank you for watching Alex's channel."
And I have nothing because screw you all.
gotta say, it's a pretty good Oktoberfest.
Nice.
Okay. I did bring a water too, so
I want to get back into the numbers.
Yeah.
All right, Dan. So I'm gonna pull you up. You're pretty much gonna go over your score for your Russells. Then I'll bring up Bumpy. Then I'll bring up myself. Then we will go over which one technically won. We'll do an average of each person's
And a cuvee.
score. Did you just do a cuvee?
I mixed them already, yeah. Just to get a glass out of my face.
All right. Dan, I'm gonna pull you up.
Okay. So for the Russells, for the nose, I gave this a 16. I enjoyed the nose a bit more. For the flavor, I gave it a 14. For the finish, I gave it a 19. For the value, I gave it an 8. For the aesthetics, I gave it a 7. And for the mouthfeel, I gave it an 18 for a total of 82. It's weird. It's almost like a tale of two tapes, like two different boxers. You know what I mean? Like they both have their qualities, but in the end, I think they land somewhere in the same range as each other versus one drastically outweighing the other. Like just really quick in comparison, like the finish for the Russells is, for me, 4 points higher than the Wild Turkey because it's so smooth, it just melts away. Whereas there's not that ethanol burn. The flavor, 3 points lower than the Wild Turkey. I feel like there's like less complexity, and I feel like the nose doesn't translate to the palate as much as maybe the Wild Turkey did. Value, I gave it an 8 just because I've seen other bourbons like the Knob Creek 12, I think it is, for like the same price, if not a little cheaper in some of my stores. But I'm still getting used to that, aspect. Aesthetics, I see a bunch of bourbon bottles this shape. Seems like it's like the go-to shape or whatever. Like a lot of local places, I'll say. Nothing really stands out. I mean, it does have the Russell's Family Reserve engraved on the top, but and then mouthfeel, 18. It's got a little bit more viscosity and a little bit more oiliness than the Wild Turkey, but still not like up there. That's it.
Nice. Awesome, Dan. You ready, Bumpy?
I'm ready.
Yeah, this has been fun. I've enjoyed this.
I was Dan and I were pretty close on a lot of those numbers.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Um,
I'm not going to reveal anything yet, but
for the nose on the Russells from Brussels, I gave it a 17 out of 20. I enjoyed it more than the Wild Turkey. But I think I talked about that when we were talking about the aromas. Now, later on, maybe, there's a little bit of, as after drinking and sniffing and then going back. But that did raise up the nose from what I had it originally for the Wild Turkey anyways, and I mentioned that at the beginning. So, 17. out of 20. For the flavor, like Dan said, I actually enjoyed the Wild Turkey's flavor a little bit more than the Russell's. I was at a 13 out of 20. For the finish, I thought it was smoother, less burn. It had more inviting flavors on the finish. Just kind of keeping with a little bit of that kind of buttery cookie type thing. So on the finish, I did like the Russell's. I was at a 17 out of 20. For the value, definitely thought the Wild Turkey 101 is a better value. Much larger bottle, like twice the size, for $4 difference, basically. So I was at a 7 out of 10 for the value. What's that?
No, I said that's a steal. That handle.
Yeah,
That's such a great. That's a great value.
right. The ergonomics or whatever the heck that is.
Aesthetics.
Aesthetics.
What do you say? Ergonomics?
The way that it lifts, yeah. I liked the Russells. I was really thrilled with I like the thin line neck tie thing. That's nice versus this big thick thing. I like all the information that they give. You know, they have a separate label going across the bottom here. They have another label here in the center, and this is raised. You can feel it. The Wild Turkey is not raised. This is actually like raised lettering. You can feel the Russells and reserves. It also gives a lot of information right here, which I like. It does have the imprinted name, and it says reserve here, which is reserve makes things, especially with cheese and stuff like that, it makes it seem extra special. Like there's more time, there's more care put into it. And the biggest thing is this damn stopper, the cap to it. That is a thick.
It's a solid cork
wood. That's not plastic. It's a nice cork. It's like an actual.
What size is your bottle?
750. It's actual cork. It's not rubber.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it's a nice wood. I've had plenty that just had plastic with rubber, and it's not as nice. I know that we had this discussion when I was over before, Tanner, about twist offs or corks and stuff. I like corks. I just think it's fancier, like a wine. You know, it's like it's just nice. You know, the big Belgian beers that you get, they have the cork in them. The screw off cap is probably easier. Maybe it seals better per se, but it's just not as like pleasing. I like things that remind me of like old school things. You know, I want to go drink at an old friggin', saloon, with the cowboys. That's the stuff that kind of like draws my appeal. I want to do those type of things. I want to go to an old English pub. I want to be enthralled in those times that stand still type things. And when you just have things that are just like cheaply like, oh yeah, here we have a plastic screw-on cap. It's just like, nah. Maybe it seals better, maybe it's cheaper, but it just doesn't have the same eye appeal to me. It doesn't bring the same feel.
So what are you on aesthetics?
I'm on aesthetics. Yeah, I'm at a 9 out of 10.
9
on the Russell's reserve. And then for the mouth, what was it? Not the mouthfeel. What's the answer?
No, mouthfeel. Yep.
It is mouthfeel. Oh yeah, very smooth, nice. I liked the 10 years less heat. And like I said, it seemed to have like a difference. It didn't have the spikiness that the 101 had. It did have a smoothness to it. So like Alex would say with like some, is it creamy? For a whiskey, it's creamier. I'm at a
Yeah,
17 out of 20.
it was almost like you traded. So the Russells was like laid back, calm, inviting, whereas like the 101 was more like full flavored and
Yeah, the 101 I gave it a better flavor score than the Russells. But the Russells had a better finish, a better
I feel
mouthfeel.
like the Wild Turkey had like a little bit more of a viscosity, whereas
Yeah.
the Russell was like so much more drinkable.
And the Russells, to me, also had a better aroma, which gave the Russells a winning score over the 101 with an 80.
So you
Over
had
the
the
101 had a 76.
was that an 80?
Yep.
All right. So
Really quick, I got confused about Bumpy's bottle size because the cork looks so much bigger in the bottle from when you pull it out. I was like, wait, why is my cork so much bigger than his?
Oh yeah.
So you guys did your Russell's rundown?
Yeah.
Right? Yes, sir.
Okay. So nose on the Russells. I gave it a 16. I found it to be very kind of like laid back, a little lackluster. I found that the 101 had a little bit more of an intensity and a little bit more of a bolder aroma. So I gave the nose on the Russells a 16. The flavor on the Russells, I gave a 16. I enjoyed it. It's very reminiscent of the Eagle Rare 10-year. Yeah, it's got some good flavor. Dark cherry, caramel, vanilla. Some spice. Very laid back as far as the ethanol alcohol burn. The finish I did give a 17. I thought so actually let's go back to the nose. The nose on the Russells I did enjoy, but it was a little bit lackluster compared to the 101. So on the Russells I gave it a 16. The 101 I gave a 17. The flavor I kind of thought was about the same. 16 on the Russell, 16 on the 101. The 101 had those darker fruit, somewhat sweeter notes that I enjoyed, but also the 101 had like the spice notes and the complexity that I really liked. The 101 was very intense, whereas the Russells was very subdued and kind of laid back. So I guess it would go towards whichever your preference was in that moment. On the finish, I definitely would recommend the Russells. I gave the Russells a 17, the 101 a 16. The Russells was much smoother, like Dan has said. Whereas the 101 was had a little bit more of that alcohol burn in the chest. On value, I gave both of them a 10 out of 10. Readily available, pretty much a product that you can find everywhere. 10-year bourbon, 45% alcohol by volume. Yeah, this is a value at $40. I would say 10 out of 10 for sure. You look at Eagle Rare, you're going to pay around $37. It's allocated 10-year bourbon. A lot of people are going to upcharge you. I've seen Eagle Rare from $55 to $70. It's supposed to be MSRP $35. This is $40. Avoid the allocation. What's the word? Shenanigans. Avoid the allocation shenanigans. Just grab the Russell's 10. If you like Eagle Rare and you've had it before and you paid $35 for it, and the next time you see it, somebody wants $70, $80, grab the grab the Russell's 10, the Eagle Rare 10. It's very similar in flavor, to be honest with you. That's why I have to do a side-by-side comparison. Aesthetics. I gave the Russell's 10 a little bit higher of a score. I gave it an 8 out of 10 compared to the 101, 7 out of 10. I do like that they have that nice age, 10 years right on the logo. 45% alcohol by volume, 90 proof. They have a little bit of a spiel of what it tastes like. I like the bottle. 8 out of 10. I liked it over the Wild Turkey. Gave a little bit more information. If the Wild Turkey gave more information, I would definitely prefer this bottle style over this one. But I like that they put out a little bit more than what this has. Mouthfeel. Kind of going back to that drinkability aspect, I feel like the Russell's 10 was much more subdued, much more drinkable. You could easily drink this bottle. This one has a little bit more intensity as far as like new bourbon drinkers. They would have a little bit more of a trouble getting through this, whereas the viscosity is higher, but the mouthfeel in this, the viscosity is a little bit more laid back. So I would say your more seasoned bourbon drinker might like this because it does have that fuller flavor, but this one is smoother, like Dan says. Overall, I gave the Russells with the nose 16, flavor 16, finish 17, value 10, aesthetics 8, mouthfeel 15. I give it an 82. The 101 nose, I gave a 17, flavor 16, finish 16, value 10, aesthetic 7, mouthfeel 14. The 101, I landed at an 80. So
that's very interesting. I had 82 as well for Russells.
I literally thought that I was going to pick the 101 over the Russells. But, you know, when you stick to these values and you really think about it, overall, the Russells won, in my opinion. What did you guys?
Yeah, the Russells ended up taking it.
What about you, Dan?
Wild Turkey, 81. Russells, 82.
Oh, so you were like neck and neck with what I did.
Yeah, because like I said, for me, it was they each both had their strong points, which you know what I mean.
So the 101 had some more strong points than the Russells, but overall, yeah. So I was at a 76 for the 101 and an 80 for Russells.
Yeah, hold on. What was your 101, Bumpy?
76.
What was your 101, Dan?
81. So Tanner, if you give me the average, I'm creating a spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm sorry. Mine was 80. Bumpy's was what was your 101? 76.
76.
And then what was yours, Dan?
81. And I'll name it Whiskey Trio Score. We'll come up with a different name, but whatever. Give me the average. I'll type it in.
Why is this being 80 plus 76 plus
81.
Okay, it's not. I don't know.
What's that?
81 plus 76.
81.
Plus 80 divided by 3. I don't know what I'm doing.
Hold on. I got you. No, it's you add up all the numbers
Yeah.
and divide it by 3.
Yeah, 81, 76, and 80.
No, add them up to a grand total and divide it by 3.
79.
There you go. All right, I'll mark it down.
I don't know what I was doing.
All right. Now we're going to do the Russell's 10-year.
We were at 101, 79 out of 100.
Yep. Do you want me to notate out of 100 or do you just want me to remember it?
What do you mean?
Here, I'll show you.
79 out of 100 was.
I'm doing this.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, 79. All right.
And then 82 plus what was yours, Wumpy?
The Russells was an 80.
82 plus 80.
Plus 82.
And then divided by 3.
Yep.
$80 twice, right?
No. 82 twice plus 80 divided by 3 is 81.3. So 81 is our average.
So Russell's won.
Yep.
That guy's surprised.
No.
No, I figured the Russells would kind of overtake it. I thought the age statement might take it.
Here's what surprised me was drinking the Russells, like just by itself, like me just drinking the Russells over the Wild Turkey without comparing them side by side, but just having one day and then the other. I was like, oh, I like the Russells more. But it was a lot closer in contrast when you really start to kind of like, what am I getting out of it? By having them side by side, it was a lot closer than I thought it would be. So overall, I think the Wild Turkey won because it was when they're really compared. I think it's a lot closer to what the Russells is.
Yeah, I mean 81 versus 79. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, the Russells was the 81, right?
Yes.
So in hindsight, the Russells won.
Yep.
Right, the Russells won, but just in comparison, like my own thoughts was I thought the Russells was much better than the Wild Turkey.
Right.
Just by drinking them, but putting them like side by side, it was like
They're
no,
very similar.
They're not as big as a gap as I thought there would have been.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that was really fun. What do you guys think? You guys enjoy doing that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel like if we could shave off about half an hour.
Shave off an hour. Let's do this in 30 minutes.
Deal with
No, like there's a certain amount of time that I think
well, this is a
allow the appropriate time for the whiskey to aerate and just you know what I mean?
Well, I think we did it. I think we did a darn good job for the first episode. An hour and a half.
So I will tell you, I've been letting it sit together. I have a cuvee. I have a cuvee sit. And the nose.
I'm gonna do a cuvee.
The nose is quite something.
I get more oak out of it.
And
Oh, wait.
beyond the nose, because I've already
Wait,
tasted
no,
it.
there's something else in there. I am getting something else. What the?
Oh, that's really good.
Right. Because you get that a little bit of the smoothness from the Russells with that whiskey or with the 101
Yeah,
spice.
you get the age. Yeah, you get the age.
You get that maple.
I'm getting star anise. I'm getting black licorice.
You get a little bit more of the complexity, but then the proof.
Is anybody else can you get star anise out of it? A little bit of black licorice?
Licorice, yeah, probably.
I
man
didn't
says
notice
star
that out
anise.
of either one singly, but that's what I'm getting now with the cuvee.
Well, yeah, like a cherry licorice.
I'm getting star anise. I'm getting the black licorice smell. And it's got the sugary note to it too, like the sugar cookie. It's still coming through, but it's coming through with an anise. Because have you ever had a star anise cookie?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I've had black licorice.
I'm gonna have my mom make some star anise cookies this Christmas because she likes things to do. So I'll have her make some star anise cookies, and I'll make sure that I get you some, Tanner. You'll love them because it's black licorice. It's that type of flavor, but it's with like powdered sugar. You know, like if you go to like a fair and you get like a fried dough and you put the powdered sugar on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that.
Nice.
Bumpy, actually, you know what it sort of reminds me of? I'm not sure if either one of you have had it. But last year's Bourbon County, the Biscotti Stout.
No, the what?
The Biscotti Stout.
No.
It reminds me of that a bit. And
yeah,
by the
there
way,
is an almond. There is kind of an almondy flavor.
And then,
no.
Well, the Biscotti Stout actually has a bit of that star anise.
Star anise. Yes. It's I call it anise. It's not anise. That's with a U.
I said anise.
I know you said anise. I say anise. I'm just
listen. Like Joe calls an almond almond. I mean,
that's totally wrong.
You guys want to? You guys want to throw out your final thoughts on the examination, and then do some shout outs? I'll pull you guys up.
Here's my final thought.
You want to go first, Dan?
Please. Here's my final thought. As the novice in the group, more novice than Bumpy, I would say, but as the newest comer, I would say that if you are new to bourbon, you can't go wrong with buying either of them. But I would say if you're brand new to bourbon, maybe go for the Russells first and work yourself up to the Wild Turkey, or introduce yourself to the 101 through a mixed drink platform, such as mixing it with a nice ginger beer, or maybe make it a old fashioned or something out of it. Just because the ethanol burn, maybe you cut down, and then you'll get used to the flavors of it.
Yeah.
And then you could maybe drink it neat. Or here's the thing: I did try it while you guys were tasting.
Just don't be a vagina and just drink it. Just do it.
Well, what I was going to say is when we were doing things, I did drop a couple of drops of water into the last of my 101 just to see if it changed. And it did help cut down the ethanol a little bit to where I could appreciate the palate. So my final thoughts, I mean, Wild Turkey, it's you can't go wrong.
It's a thing.
That's a good one. Nice, Dan. You want to go next, Bumpy?
I'm going to go next.
All right, all right, all right. You know why I said that?
All right.
Party at the Moon Tower.
Sean Connery, Sean
No, because
Longhorn
Matthew
or Long
McConaughey
Branch.
Matthew McConaughey. Yeah.
has a wild turkey brand.
Long Branch.
Well, yeah, Long Branch. It's a bourbon aged or finished in mesquite charcoal barrels. We might have to get one of those and do a little
I'm trying to
comparison.
move us on to other brands. Okay.
All right, all right, all right.
We should do an all rye season.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, well, that was something I didn't mention. I do like rye a lot, so the burn sometimes is kind of nice. I kind of like a little bit of a spice to some things. So, yeah, my final thoughts. I mean, the cuvee is nice. I'm enjoying the different aromas that it created. That's odd, and it's nice, and it drinks nice. It's kind of a blend between the both. It kind of adds a little bit of smoothness, kind of dulls down a bit of the warmth, the heat, the burn from just the Wild Turkey 101 with the cuvee. And there's some nice kind of like almond notes. Almond no 10 me one go home. One almond, two almond. Where were we at? What are we doing? Shout outs and weird stuff like that too?
You're just doing your final thought and then
final thought. Yeah, so that was my final thought was I mean the wild turkey, obviously. I mean buying a what do they call these things? A handle. Buying a handle for just about the same price as buying a 750 mil. I mean the value I would go with the Wild Turkey 101 for value as far as price. But yeah, if you're looking to have maybe a bit more of an enjoyable overall experience, then yeah, the Russells. That's my final thoughts and all that stuff.
So since Tanner's gone,
plus it's 10 years old. It's 10 years age, which adds value. So the price is pretty low for something.
Before Tanner gives his final thought, here's something that did occur to me that I guess I probably would have liked to bring up. As a newcomer to a bourbon, when I go buy bottles, I will search the little, what do they call them? The mini bar airplane sizes to see what they have. I would think you would probably be able to find 101 in that size if you just wanted to try it.
You would think that.
Well, I don't know if they sell them in those sizes.
So there's a couple of stores I went to where I found Whistle Pig 12 year in that size.
Yeah, but you got to think different places like in New Hampshire, the liquor stores are state run.
Whistle Pig.
So we're different. We get like
I'm just saying it may be an option. Daniels. Whereas you're probably not finding Russells in that size.
Whistle Pig 10-year or 12-year nip is probably like a $10 bottle of 50 milliliter. You know,
I mean the point I was trying to make is like this is more.
No, I know.
New Hampshire, you're gonna find the 99-cent nips, but it's gonna be like Jack Daniels number 7.
Yeah,
you're not gonna find much else than that. They have the very cheap vodkas. They have the very cheap rums. Those are all you find over in the little party section.
You want to do shout outs, Bumpy?
Yeah, shout outs. I mean, I don't have much shout outs really. I'm trying to kind of wean off of shouting out a bunch of channels that we all watch anyways because it cuts in the time. But I will say that tomorrow I do have a video coming out that I edited last week, but I have it coming out tomorrow. So enjoy that. And I'll try to get back to some comments that were left on my previous stuff. And if anybody watches and comments on this upcoming post, I will try to get back to you. I'm sorry that I'm not as quick on the draw with commenting like I used to be. I used to comment right away, but you know, hey, we all kind of grow and things change, and you
Tyler
got to
waited
find
a year
a
and a half to
medium
come back,
happiness in life. And yeah, I'm not doing this for money. None of us are. We're doing it for just fun, and we're meeting some great people. So appreciate the viewers of all of our channels. Appreciate people sticking with us, and appreciate the camaraderie and friendships that I've created here on YouTube. Over anything else, that's all I could ask for. Never here for money, and never want to really be here for money. It's just about friendships and having a good time. I never wanted this to be a job. So, cheers.
Cheers, Bumpy. Appreciate you, Alex. All right. Final thoughts. Of course, the dude. I was saying how the 101. I love the 101. It's super cheap. The Russells, in my opinion, ended up winning 82. I gave the 101 an 80. And I was really thinking about giving the 101 a higher score, just because the value, um, the complexity, the mouthfeel. It is a solid bourbon for that $27 mark, but the Russells less than 13. What? No, less than $15. You can get yourself a really nice aged 10-year bourbon, a little bit lower in proof, but very laid back. The 101 is totally something where if you want that intensity in that mouthfeel, you pick up maybe something on a day where you just want that standard bourbon. You want those standard bourbon flavors to kind of stand out. The Russell's 10 is totally like just a bourbon that you would sip, drink by the pool, hang out. Very mellowed, subdued, not overly intense. But when you put it into the perspective of what we had tonight, I did give the Russells an 82. I gave the Wild Turkey 101 an 80. Overall, I think you can't go wrong with either or. They both have their benefits. They both have the reasons why you would pick one up over the other. Russell's is maybe like a little bit more of a whiskey tasting party. 101 is a little bit more of a cocktail, but still a solid sipping bourbon night. They have their differences. Yeah, very difficult. Overall, I gave the Russells a better score, but I do believe that they're both neck and neck, and I'm glad that we did this comparison because one may have a better score, but that doesn't necessarily say that one is better over the other. I think it totally has to go into perspective of what situation you're in, where you're going to drink these products, when you're going to drink these products. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I liked it. I really enjoyed putting them into different categories and actually kind of nitpicking the categories themselves. As far as shout outs, go check out Curiosity Public. A lot of the categories that I was using tonight has to do with their Ultimate Spirits competition. They use a lot of these categories to kind of justify and figure out what bourbon's better than others. And what else? Let's give a shout out to Thomas Metal 75 Wild Card Wednesday on Wednesdays 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Before we wrap this up, just want to say, Bumpy, Dan, how do you guys feel about this experience? And you muted, Dan.
I always forget to do that all the time. I have thoughts. I have positives. I have negatives. I have in betweens.
This was fun, dude.
It was a lot of fun. Off air, I think we can hammer down a streamlined process to make it
better. Yeah,
I would say more streamlined and engaging, maybe for the audience.
Yeah.
And but overall, I enjoy the concept of doing like a nice whiskey battle or bourbon battle. Sorry, I don't want to say whiskey. I know people get.
Well, they do say one of the bottles. Well, one says bourbon whiskey and one says. Oh, they both say bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we happened, we could talk about logistics, but I could see this evolving into something really cool and really big.
Yeah, we gotta get Eric on here.
Yeah, maybe get like
I don't
bourbon bounty or something.
Bourbon bounty.
Yeah. We can talk about it. I think there's logistically speaking, we'd have to really hammer that out. But anyways, good times.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Shout
out to the chat. Shout out to the panel.
Shout out to your mama.
Of course. Shout out to the whole community here. It's been fun. trying to dodge everything Bopey says at this point. But yeah,
the mamas and the papas.
It's been a lot of fun. This was awesome. We need to do a lot more. I feel like we should do a beer review like this. We should do a beer examination where we do like Bumpy's 50 points.
Beer's played out. Bourbon's where it's at, son.
Not necessarily. We should take a super common beer and do Bumpy's kind of 50-point inspection or this kind of aspect of reviewing a product and just do it as a full panel. I think that would be awesome.
Jesus Christ, Bumpy, be careful. Don't fucking smash that in your hands.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake. I just see that happening.
All right. With that being said, thank you for everybody joining in on the chat. Thank you for Dan and Bumpy joining in with me doing this Wild Turkey 101 in Russell's 10-year Russell's Reserve 10-year bourbon comparison.
Bourbon whiskey.
Bourbon whiskey comparison. Tons of fun. And yeah, there you have it. If there's anything else you guys like to see on my channel, make sure to leave a comment down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.
Push the like button.